How you do, cousins? It's Rusty. And guys, I got so many cool tips for you today. This is not just for people who sell on eBay, but if you sell on eBay, this will be especially helpful because I got some very specific tips and hints. Not exactly hacks, but definitely things you can do to improve selling on that platform. And just in general, I'm going to teach you about a variety of things that you can buy and sell and make an extra buck or two, whether that's something you just do on the side, or you just have stuff at your house, or maybe you do this for a living and you're just trying to educate yourself. Either way, let's jump into it. This is going to be a mix of tips and actual items that I have actually purchased and have sold in the past and hope to continue doing so. Let's get into it.
A 1 and a 2 and Rusty the reseller, he'll sell you the shirt off his back. Well, I have done it.
I have a variety of things to show you today, but let's start off with some random ones that I picked out. The thing that these all have in common is that they're easy to find, they're small, they're cheap, and they're easy and cheap to ship. Don't avoid these things. Let's jump right in. What I'm going to show you folks in this basket, I threw a bunch of this stuff together. I wanted to show you a variety of things that may seem like junk or not real valuable to you, but I'm telling you right now, this is the type of stuff that we sell day in and day out. The big items sell for a lot. Those are great, obviously, but these things I'm about to show you is the kind of stuff that keeps our business alive. To start off, I got these in here, pins. Or buttons rather, pins and buttons. These are military variety. As you can see, some larger ones here that's got like a screw back. Other ones have these little holes there where you can sew into them. These have little pins kind of holding them in place. But there's a variety of kinds, guys. And buttons, man, really old ones, whether they're military or not, can be worth loads of money. And sometimes you find those in like just large jars full of stuff. Here is something I came across just a couple of days ago. It's this little wooden carved bird. It's really interesting. Not exactly sure where this was made. It doesn't say on it, but it's a very dark wood. This is probably made of ebony or some sort of other really dark wood. I mean, this was 25 cents, and so it was a very easy pickup. Someone's going to like that, I'm sure. Everything that I'm showing you in here cost me $2 at the most. In most cases, they cost me $1 or less. Old glasses, we've talked about these before. It doesn't have to be ones made of silver or gold, although you can find those all the time. Gold fill glasses, that is. Look on the bridge or on the side here. But these were very strange. Just look at how the nose pieces and then the eyepieces at the top here fold down. I had never seen a pair like this before. Things that are odd and bizarre, they sell really well. Old like ink pens or various things that have to do with well-known TV shows or movies. In this case, it's a Stormtrooper, which is obviously you know, from the Star Wars arena. Doesn't even have to work. Here's another example of something, a vintage old little figure here you play made out of plastic, and this would have sat clearly on a horse at one point in time. It's a little figure there. We've got, here's a watch. I come across watches all the time, gold-filled watches and things. This is actually a newer watch. It's a Tommy Hilfiger brand, but this was just $1, and it works, and it has a band in good condition as well. Moving on, old matchbooks, folks. If you ever find these, the ones that have the striker, as you can see right here on the front, not on the back. The ones with the strikers on the front, folks, are older and oftentimes more valuable. I got two in here that are exactly the same. This is from the Stork Club, and these are probably from the circa I would say 1930s, 1940s is where these are from. They look about the same on either side. But I bought a large lot last year and did very, very well on those things. We've talked about this recently. This is the little game piece. If you ever come across tiny little game pieces from games, popular games like Monopoly, those things will sell. Here we've got a little R2-D2. This is not really a figure that articulates. It's really one that just sits in one spot. But I find these at Goodwills and places all the time, just tossed in there with other toys, sometimes in grab bags, sometimes by themselves. But these are highly collectible because Star Wars things are very, very collectible. Here we have, it's very old, and you can see like the little bubbles inside there. where air got caught. These are old stoppers for, could be for a decanter, it could be for an old perfume bottle, it could be for a variety of things. But people buy these to replace. Sometimes they buy them because they collect them. A variety of cool things. Here's an example of a pen back. A little pen that you would put on. In this case, it's a political one, a Jimmy Carter for president, a political pen. It's in this. It doesn't have to be in a like a little holding case or a little thing like this. It could just be loose. Sometimes I'll buy those by the dozens. Even things like magnets, fridge magnets. This right here is an RCA brand, and so particularly if you find things with old advertising on them, or again, they are from a specific company that is highly collectible or sought after, that's a good thing to grab. How to, cousins? It's Rusty. I'm on the road today. I'm looking for deals, things to buy and sell. While I'm on my way to this first place, I wanted to give you a quick tip of something that I have done as a reseller. This is specifically for people who sell on eBay. I have got into a routine of monthly now deactivating, delisting everything in one of my stores and then putting it back up again. I don't relist with the relist button. What I do instead is I click sell similar. I have thousands of items in my store, but because you can do this like a bulk edits at a time, I'll do 200 at a time. I'll go in, I'll click 200 of them, I'll hit end listing or end items. It ends those, takes them out of the store. Then I go into my ended items section. I select those same items, and instead of clicking relist, I click sell similar. The reason that that's important is if you relist it, it will put it back out there again, but it's going to be still connected to the same item number that it had the time before. Over time, if you have things in your store and they haven't sold, they get bogged down because it's been farther and farther back that they were listed, and other people who are putting out stuff now get priority. And especially if people are searching for new things that are being listed in that category, yours is not going to come up. So I take them down, I click sell similar. It carbon copies everything you did. Before you relist it, if you want to change the price, if you want to change any sort of information about the photographs or your title or the shipping costs, any of that, you can do that. And then I resubmit them. So into the eBay platform, it is as if it's a brand new item that's never been on their platform before. Now, the reason I tell you this, folks, is that I did this last month. And within 48 hours of doing this, I did not change a single thing. I didn't change the price. I didn't change the pictures. Nothing, folks. I just delisted it and then relisted, a similar item. It was the same thing. In 48 hours of not doing anything except for putting those back up, I got around $650 of sales. It generated those sales simply because they dropped as fresh items that people could then see in their new feed. It worked so well for me last month that I just did it again. I did it this morning. It took me about 20 to 30 minutes to do somewhere in the range of 2,500 to 3,000 items just to get started this morning. And already in the first 2 hours, I have about $120 in sales. Again, I didn't change the price at all. So if you folks have an eBay store and you've listed things that have been on there a few months, a year, multiple years and haven't sold, just try this out. It's 30 minutes of your time or less, depending on how many things you've got in that store. I guarantee you will start to see results. At the very least, you'll start to notice that your analytics of your page views, people seeing your items are gonna increase because these are dropping. And people who are searching for that particular item, when they go each day or every couple of days to see what new things have popped up, yours is going to be there, folks. And then if you want to one-up it from there and you want to pay an additional fee to eBay in order to prioritize and put out your listing more often than it does others, you can also do that, but that will cost you a little bit. That's just a real quick hot tip from Rusty as a way to generate some sales with minimal effort without having to sacrifice by lowering the cost. Moving on, we've got, this is just like a little ashtray or these little trays that even like coasters and things. This one says Fin Stain on it. It has some different like maker marks or purity marks or something like that. I think this is probably made out of pewter or something like that. It's definitely not made out of silver, but you can get these things for 50 cents, folks. It's like a no-brainer. Old cordial or shot glasses is another thing, very small. This had a gold leaf, actual gold at the top there on the rim. I buy these often for 25 cents, 10 cents, 50 cents, and people collect shot glasses. That's a really good thing to grab up. Keychains is a good thing. It could be a variety of keychains. Could be something that, again, has branding on it. It could be, advertising, something like that. This particular one, it is a keychain, but also unscrews to reveal a small flathead screwdriver. On the other side, it is a Phillips head screwdriver. And so I'll put that back on later. But those are good things. Here's another little pin. This is another RCA branded thing. It's the old RCA dog. And the little, kind of like that phonograph or that, whatever that is that it's listening to there. Here's another branded thing. I got a large lot of RCA things. This is an old lighter, and people will collect old lighters as well. Here's another small item you probably come across at various places. It's just old or unique box cutters or little box knives. That doesn't have a blade in it, but it was an unusual looking one. I hadn't come across one like that before. What else did I'm pulling out here? Now I've got, this is what they would call well, there's a couple different ways you can look at these. This particular one, because of how it's cut out, there's trade cards, of course, like Victorian trade cards, and then die cuts. And this is a die cut. It's cut out in a particular shape. It's printed with color, but there's a variety of sizes and all kinds of different content, a lot of times advertising. Old photographs, black and white, smaller ones, or even bigger ones, depending on the content. I bought this because I have some tennis rackets like this that I'm selling. This is a very, very old one. Paid 50 cents for that. Someone's definitely going to like that. Here is a small screwdriver. This is made of brass, and inside are smaller. It's almost like a nesting doll of screwdrivers, which I thought was interesting. You can kind of hear it in there. Again, very small. 50 cents or less, folks. It's easy to pick these things up. It's not going to break the bank, and you'll make money. Maybe not overnight, but you'll make it. Here's an old, small pair of scissors by the Klaus company. It's, I believe, a German brand. C-L-A-U-S-S. And then we've got little figurines made out of things like... in this case, brass, copper ones, all kinds of different types of metals, but these tiny little figurines of all kinds of different shapes, animals, things like that can definitely sell. We sell them pretty often. Here's another example of like small figurines. This is, if anyone or any of you are familiar with Disney, this is a particular character out of an older Disney movie. And so very easy. There people collect those. Here's this is actually a Monet brand, but what this is it is a necklace with a charm on the end of it. And this charm on the bottom there with my thumb, if you pulled on that, his little eyes pop up and his little tongue sticks out at you. Really bizarre and interesting thing. But that was, I think I paid $2 for that. That's about the most I paid for anything you're seeing in this video today. Here are some military challenge coins, United States military. This is presented by the Directorate of Engineering and Housing. And then you've got this one over here, Counterintelligence Defense Intelligence Agency. These things, I had some of these that sold really, really well in the past. Even old measuring devices, compasses, little... rulers. This one's the RCA Missile and Surface Radar. Interesting because it's branded a particular way. Old pins. Here's some more military ones. USN. I believe that represents the U.S. Navy, although I'm not 100% sure. Very easy and cheap. Small rocks and minerals. This is like crystal. Or like quartz crystal. It's fairly clear. Definitely some inclusions, so you know it's not just glass, but this kind of thing can definitely sell as well. All right, next tip has to do with making your listings quickly and efficiently. When I'll run into a thrift store, let's say, and I buy a couple of items, Before I buy it, I'm obviously on my phone researching what the sold comps are on eBay. When I find that it's a good deal, I will go ahead and just copy or sell similar, click sell similar item as that one. And what eBay does on the platform is it copies everything about that except for the photographs. And so I have copied and saved that as a draft because I know I'm going to walk over and buy it. So I do my research and I make a template essentially of that sale or that item before I've even walked out of the store. When I come out to the car, I pull out that item and I take some quick shots on my phone, and then I open up that draft, attach those photos, adjust the title or the description or the category, whatever I need to do, and the price, and then I list that item. I will have researched, purchased, photographed, and listed the item on eBay before I ever leave the parking lot. You can imagine what that's like if you spend an entire day outsourcing. You get a handful or dozens of items. By the time you roll back home to your work or your home or wherever it is, you have no more work to do other than to bring your items inside and categorize them, store them, clean them, or whatever else you might need to do. But the photographing and the tough part, the not fun portion of the business, is already taken care of. You don't have to sit for an hour or two and do all that work because you already did it while you were working. Now, you don't have to do it this way, but it's in a way that I can do things very efficiently. If I buy individual items, I almost always do this. The exceptions would be, say, like fine jewelry or something where I want to really stage it and make a really nice photo, or when I buy dozens of things at a time. Clearly, that's going to take more time. But individual items, that's what I like to do. Try it out. It may save you some time in the long run. Still got more in here to show you. Old measuring tapes. This is the Wilsco 6-foot measuring reel, and if you pull it out here, it's kind of in rusted old condition, but people collect these different brands and different sizes and shapes. That's round, so that's a little unusual. Has that going for it as well. Pull these out here. This is like a key fob, right? It says drop in the mailbox. Houston, Texas, Exxon Travel Club. So there were a variety of different types of travel clubs that had these with keys, and you could drop them in the mail and get back to them. Old sockets from certain brands are really good. This is a Snap-on brand, and Snap-on brand tools have like a lifetime guarantee, and they're also really good quality Snap-on. As you see that, other ones like Plum and Proto, and there's a variety of other ones that also sell really well. Even old playing cards like these Coca-Cola ones here can definitely bring some good money. This one's in kind of rough shape, admittedly, but still will definitely sell to a collector. I got a big bag of these right here. Lots of, they're in here. All the pairs are in here, but these are old tie bars and cuff links and tie clips and things like that. So men and women's jewelry, and I think women's jewelry goes without saying, small items, brooches, pins, earrings, bracelets, rings, and such. Old keys, even if you don't know what it goes to or where it came from, people collect keys. They buy keys to replace. This is an old GM. I'm assuming it's a GM car key for some sort of an old GM. I sell keys all the time. Even little beads and charms from bracelets and necklaces. And this particular one is Christmas themed. You got a Christmas beads here with those kind of hand painted with like enamel paint. These are little stocking caps here and Christmas trees. And then you got snowflakes and various other winter themed things that would go for Christmas. Ink pens is another thing. Pens and pencils, mechanical pencils, ink pens, fountain pens. They don't have to be in their cases. They can be used. Keep an eye out. Certain pens, this is not a fountain pen, but certain fountain pens, got a little ink on my thumb there. Certain fountain pens can sometimes have tips that are made of gold. And there can be gold content in certain ink pens, so keep a lookout for that. And then here's a fun one, folks. This is a roll. I bought a jar for $3, and inside of it had about 10 different rolls about this size that use
of vintage stickers. Some had clowns on them. Some had, this is like a American flag inside of a heart. There were some religious ones, everything. People, you mean people would buy rolls of old stickers? Yes, they'll even buy them individually. So what I'll do with something like this is I'll cut one of these off and I'll put it at auction for $1. And I'll say, come to the store to see similar items. So someone who collects stickers will find that. They might get a good deal on one sticker. And then they'll come in and they'll look at my store. Now I've found somebody who might want to come and follow the store. And, for $3 for 10 rolls, and each roll probably has 50 stickers in there. If I sell each one of those for $1, folks, that's a lot of money. But I'm not making crazy money on that, obviously. And it's all about building up the store with low-cost items. It's easy for people to buy, and it gets them interested in your store.
Some more advice for you folks is to send offers to people who are watching and interested in your items. There's all kinds of ways you can run listings, auctions, buy it nows, with or without accepting offers. But even if you aren't wanting to have people send you offers, when someone watches your item, eBay will let you know that. And if you want to sell that sucker, you should send them an offer at a discount off of what the regular price is. Here at the Bargain Warehouse, we list things up quite a bit over what we paid for them, obviously because we want to make money, but we list them even above that, expecting that someone is going to send us an offer, or that when a person watches one of our items, we can send them an offer for a lower amount. That will either trigger a sale off the cuff, or it at least gets them into a situation where they're negotiating back and forth, sending a counter offer, that sort of thing. I send offers every single day. I receive offers from people and I send offers to people. And I would say that about 1 out of every 10 of those, a combination of the two, 1 out of every 10 of those ends up being a sale. So you should keep that in mind, especially if it's in a slow period of time. Maybe you haven't checked it. You go in there, you might have dozens of things that are being watched. Send out offers to all of those, and you might be surprised what happens.
Beep, boop, boop, let's go make some money. Rusty, 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 how to? Rusty, 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 how to? Rusty.